Hey, everybody.
Hey, we didn't know whether it was going to make it or not.
Yes. Well, welcome back to another episode of Cubbage Critiques.
Indeed.
And Cubbage Critiques, just like everything else we do here at the CCI Radio Show YouTube channel, sponsored by Vibrant Souls Health and Wellness. You can follow Vibrant Souls on Instagram, and you can email Vibrant Souls at vibrantsouls@gmail.com.
Yeah.
So we are going to review our experience in Put-in Bay.
That is correct. That is
So,
correct.
yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting review / critique.
Absolutely. And as you can see, we're still on vacation at this point. Now, of course, by the time this posts, we will be home.
Yes.
But we wanted to make sure that we went on ahead and critiqued it and had it ready to go.
Yep, absolutely. And Cubbage Critiques begins in a matter of seconds. Okay, so here we are, Cubbage Critiques, and we are going to critique our experience in Put-in Bay.
Yes, so I'm going to bring up a few pictures just so you could remember.
Get the visual image.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to show the pictures. I mean, we could, but we could.
Yeah, get the visual view.
Okay, wrong. Okay, wait, going to the wrong thing here. That way you could say, oh, that's right. This is okay. So we, of course, are currently in Port Clinton, Ohio, which is considered the mainland, okay, because Put-in Bay, excuse me, and other, well, I shouldn't say others, but there are a couple of islands that are in the, is that Lake Erie? Is that the lake? Is that Lake Erie?
Lake Erie region, yeah.
So,
yeah,
the water that we are on, or any pictures that you might have seen, if you are social media friends with us, that is considered, that body of water is Lake Erie. So we'll just start with that. So we are staying on what they say is the, what did I just say?
Mainland.
I'm sleepy. Sorry. The mainland, the mainland side. And then, of course, you have to take a ferry from over here to the island.
Mm-hmm. And how was that ferry experience?
Well, for me, being that was the first time I'd ever been on a ferry, it was actually pretty cool.
Me too. First time me being on a ferry too was rather huge. It's kind of funny how how some people drove their vehicles on there and most of the people didn't. They just kind of stood around, whether it be on the bottom part of the ferry or the top part of the ferry. And
not to interrupt, but I'm actually surprised that too was your first experience on a ferry, being that you have been to, well, a couple of islands right before. Maybe not like a Jamaican island or anything like that, but places out in the water and whatnot, and hunting trips and such. So I'm actually kind of surprised that you'd never been on a ferry.
Well, hunting trips, we never were going on a ferry or anything. Now my dad did.
Yes, that's true. He's told me
he's been on plenty of those.
But
he used to go on plenty of those.
But I'm surprised that you weren't with him on a ferry. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's from that's my later years. I after a while, I
just didn't.
I was more of a city kid.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. So more in your later years, your dad went on a ferry.
Well, actually, it was probably a little bit of both, but I remember it more in my later years.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe you were on a ferry before.
I was never on one.
How do you know?
Oh, they would have told me. Yeah, I know for a fact that was my first time ever being on a ferry.
Well, that's cool that we did it for the first time together.
Mm-hmm. And it was a nice experience being on that ferry. A lot of nice people on the ferry. The ferry went pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. The first one did. Second one was a little bit slower, but the first one, like, he was flying.
So if you come to Port Clinton and want to go to Put-in Bay or to Sandusky, where Cedar Point is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can actually get on this particular ferry, and it's called Miller's Ferry,
Mm-hmm.
Miller''. And they did great. It was $8 a trip, so
Mm-hmm.
$16 per person,
Mm-hmm.
technically.
Mm-hmm.
And you could travel by ferry. Now, of course, if you want to take your vehicle, we don't know how much that is, but I would imagine it's a bit more.
Probably expensive. Yeah.
I would think that's probably expensive. However, the Jet Express, which is also a competing ferry group, they they charge $38 round trip per person, and I can't remember whether they allow vehicles or not on their ferry. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But the Jet Express will take you right to the boardwalk area,
Mm-hmm.
where all of the seafood restaurants are. Like all the seafood restaurants, you probably, if you want to learn or had tried to learn about Put-in Bay, that's where all of the popular seafood places that all the townies go to.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes literally directly right to that spot. And but the Miller's Ferry would be quite a walk.
They would, yeah.
It would be quite the walk. So you would either need to take a little trolley, because there are trolleys going around, a bus, or you'd have to rent a
golf cart.
Which is
honestly, now that's once we actually got off of the ferry, now that was exciting. Driving a golf cart, and I've never seen so many people drive golf carts in my life, all over the road. I mean, people were beeping at you, well, more or less just like waving to say hi, because all the other golf carts are passing by you,
mm-hmm.
coming different directions. It was pretty fun just driving the golf cart around most of the day, and just they even had like parking spaces for golf carts.
That's true.
It's like everybody was driving a golf cart pretty much. So that was a fun experience there.
And the place that we went for that, well, we had already actually had everything already set up. So Ease Golf Cart, which is once you get off of the ferry, you have to walk a little. It's not bad, but probably 200 to 400 feet, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you walk to the ferry, or to the place where you could get a golf cart. And it's wise to book online and get it done. Get it done.
Right.
Now, this place was called Ease Golf Cart. So
right.
The letter E apostrophe S golf carts. And they were very nice. And of course, you have to give all your information and all that if you have a vehicle and your car insurance thing, your license, and all that stuff. And their carts are not only numbered, but they have names of the cart. And I would imagine that's so you don't get confused as to where.
Yeah, ours was Peter Parker.
Peter Parker, who also happens to be
one of my favorite superheroes. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
So that was.
So you didn't know I
fun.
knew that, did you?
Oh, I knew you knew that. Yeah, that was pretty fun. Like I said, to drive around all the streets yesterday, and not yesterday, the whole trip.
Yes.
You know.
So, unfortunately, though, the only thing that they don't do is they don't really give you a quick little course, even if it's just like, this is where this is, this is where this is, bye. They didn't even do that. Or, okay, bye. Sign this, bye. Like,
Yeah.
So we had to try to figure everything out. The seat belts were kind of weird. It was kind of weird in a golf cart. But again, that's not their problem. They didn't make the golf carts, they just bought them.
Some people were driving around with music, and I'm sure they probably just had phone music playing off their phone or something, because it was like really,
but it was really loud though. Like,
I don't know how people have music coming out their golf cart.
I don't know either. So that was pretty strange.
Yeah.
And then so we saw a lot of golf carts.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty cool. And another thing that was cool, because you had a golf cart, right, and not your vehicle, you could technically park wherever you wanted, when you went somewhere. Like, okay, this isn't a parking space, but I'm gonna make it a parking space.
You're parking all on the grass.
Yeah,
everybody was parking on the grass and on the sidewalk.
Is this a parking spot? And people, would hear you talking because it's a golf cart.
So like, just park anywhere.
Go ahead and park there. Park. Like, what? Yeah, you could park on the grass. What? Like, what? So that was also pretty strange. That
was pretty fun.
Yeah, I don't like parking on grass, but but that's okay. That's okay. It was all right.
Yeah.
It's a little, it was a little strange, because then people spend money on trying to make their grass look nice and stuff. So that's why I get kind of like, I don't want to park on the grass, but it's all good.
True. And then I see that we had ventured off to this cave that you wanted to go to, called Perry's Cave, which was really cool.
Well, this is what was funny, because I do believe I chose the wrong cave. So they said that this cave was underground, and of course, all the caves are underground, but underground. But on top of it was supposed to be a winery called Heinemann's. I think that's the right pronunciation. So we see the sign for Heinemann's Winery, and said, oh, must be it. And it says Perry's Cave. So we go and we park where we want to. And they say that the next time that they were going down into the cave was at 2:00. Well, at this point, it was 1:20.
Right.
So we're like, so I said to Sam, we don't have to stay. We could go do something else. And, he hadn't really, neither one of us had really eaten anything yet and all that.
Yeah.
So, no. You said you wanted to go into because my whole thing was, it was it's not the only, but it's the only geode on this side of America that you can actually walk in. Now, of course, obviously, you know that a geode would be one of those rocks that you look into and it's all glittery and sparkly and pretty and stuff like that. But usually when you see a geode, it's like this. Somebody's like, oh, here's a little gift of a geode. Here you go. I got this geode for you, and it's purple or sparkly or whatever. But unfortunately, when we did go into the cave, the geode is not pretty and sparkly and all that. However, it was very comfortable in there, which was lovely. A nice, even 52 degrees. So,
yeah, it was really, really nice. And,
yes, we did enjoy it.
And wet.
Yes, it's very wet.
Not slick.
No,
just wet.
Just wet.
But it was really nice.
And we were happy to go and check it out. And when we read about it, we found that it was only going to be a 15 to 20-minute tour. And
was about right.
And we thought that was weird because we had been to, what was the caverns in Hershey that we've been to?
I can't remember.
Was it last? It was last year, but I can't remember.
I was going to say it was Hershey Caverns. I mean,
something
I can't
like
remember
that.
What the name of it was.
Yeah. And we went in to that one, and we were in there for a while.
Yeah.
But at least 45, maybe an hour. 45 minutes to an hour. But I'm like, 15 to 20 minutes. I don't know. So, well, okay, we could try it, but okay, let's do it. So we ran into, they told us, go into this room and wait, your tour guide will be there. And
the tour guide was there, and our tour guide was a 13-year-old tour guide, which is very smart. 13 going on 30.
Right. Indeed.
More or less, if I could say that.
Absolutely.
Very knowledgeable and very funny.
Very funny.
Because at the end of the whole thing, somebody was like, I got a question for you. How old are you? He's 13.
13.
And he was sounding really cool.
Yeah, he was very, very knowledgeable young man. I do. It was Xavier.
Yes. Because he quizzed us all at the end of it.
Yes. And then he talked about the stalactites and the stalagmites. Mm-hmm. And do you remember what was up high?
See, let me
I have a way to
Isn't the mites high and the tights low?
Nope, other way.
Tights high and the mites low. Okay.
Just think about if this is the way I think.
Oh, like termites.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That's a good way to remember it. I think about, so it's tights and mites, right? So your tiers run down, right? So they would start up and come down. So that's the stalactites. And then
stalagmites.
And then below. Stalagmites obviously must be the opposite direction. So yes. So,
yeah, it was really fun to do.
Yes, that was fun. I really enjoyed going into that cave.
And then we made our way to the boardwalk.
Yes. So now the interesting thing about it was very busy. It was very, very busy. And come to find out that we just happened to be there on the Saturday for what they call the Jeep invasion.
Yeah.
There were Jeeps all over the place, riding up and down the streets. People were throwing beads and throwing those little rubber duckies and stuff like that. And so I'm like, why are they throwing stuff at the people? I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like reaching my hand out too, like through the car. Come on, throw some stuff up here. And of course, Sam C was a little annoyed with that, but I didn't want to get hit with a rubber duck. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean,
they were trying to slap hands. People in other golf carts were trying to slap hands.
Yeah, and this woman got mad at me because she was like, "Oh, you didn't slap my hand." I was trying to get on the road. I wasn't paying attention to that. The one thing I will say about the boardwalk area, it was very busy, and we had a hard time trying to find a place to park.
Mm-hmm.
And we did find a place to park finally after paying for it. Yeah. That's the one thing I didn't like too much, that you had to pay to park, even though you already had to
purchase the rental.
Cart. And yeah, and a lot of the food places, I mean,
well, this let me see if I can. No, not at all. So we'll start with, I guess I thought I took a picture of the one spot, but maybe that's a good thing it must not have taken.
Okay.
But I was thinking about, let me see if I can find it here, because it was before all this, much before. Okay. So I guess it didn't take, but we went to a place called Put-in-Bay Winery
Mm-hmm.
because things
Yeah.
were just. We've been driving around in this golf cart all this time, and we couldn't find any places to park. So when we did find a place to park, we, like I said, people can hear you in your cart talking even as you're riding around because it's going, 5-10 miles an hour. So if people are walking, they can hear you talking.
Yeah.
And this man says, and so I said to Sam, well, do you just want to go here? I'm sure they have food. And he said, yeah, sure, why not? So we're, chugging along in the cart. And I said, well, where should we park? And this man says, just park on the grass. Just park on the grass. Whatever. It's fine. Everybody's doing it.
We did.
So we did. And we go to Put-in-Bay Winery, and we see people sitting out. There's a little bar area. And so we sat down at one of the chairs, and there was just a little paper menu sitting on it.
Grabbed the menu off another table.
We looked, we saw something that we might want to get. And the waitress walked by us quite a few times and didn't bother.
By us, around us.
Yes, and didn't bother to acknowledge us.
Right. So from that, and it was about 15 minutes, maybe even 20. So we decided we're not going to stay here. So that wasn't a very good experience there, because, we didn't, why would you ignore us? So we just ended up leaving.
Right.
And that's when we ended up going down to around the corner to the boardwalk, finally found a place to park after paying for it.
Yes.
And then we ended up going to...
There was a spot right next to where we ended up going, and it's called the Roundhouse Bar.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd heard about it on YouTube when, I researched everything. So I said, it would be really cool to go to this Roundhouse Bar because, they have this good food, they claim. It's the oldest bar on the... Wait, let me see. I took a picture. 150-year-old bar,
right,
as of last year. So now it's 151.
Right.
And so we just thought that would be cool to say we had gotten some lunch there. But...
Well, we got in the door and we were probably only there for 30 seconds. Bobby snapped a couple pictures. We walked out because it was just insane. So we walked out and then it
was wall-to-wall people.
Wall-to-wall people. So we went a couple places down to the chicken patio. The chicken patio, was it?
Wine-basted chicken.
Now that was really interesting because, the people were so nice there.
Mm-hmm.
If you were just looking to get some sort of barbecue or something, I mean, you could, because the chicken itself was really big and tender. I have to say, and tender.
I will say that.
It came with a big chicken. It came
half
with
a chicken,
half a chicken, a roll, corn on the cob, potato salad, and the price wasn't really that bad, for that. And
we actually shared it.
Yeah.
The lady suggested that we share it. And she said, well, I could just give you a bigger chicken. You guys could share it. And because we said, we don't know. What did we?
Yeah, that was fun.
What were we supposed to do? And
that
she
was
said,
fun.
You know what? Share it. And then if you want more food, come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I were to rate that, 10 being the best and 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, I would probably give them a 7. I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't the worst. And what made it probably at least a 7 is because the people were so nice.
Well, I would critique that separately. The people were amazing. I would give them an 11. The food, 6.5, 7.
Mm-hmm.
The sauce, wasn't that great,
mm-hmm.
but It could have been better. Could have been better. But
Yeah.
It could have been
I mean,
better.
like I said, it wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't the worst.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't the worst food.
And plus, we met a really nice couple.
Yes.
That made that even made that worthwhile.
Yes. I feel bad. I should have asked them their names.
Yeah.
But the wife comes over and asks if she and her husband could share our table.
Mm-hmm.
And oh yeah, sure, why not? Why not? There was nowhere to sit.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it? So she said, yeah, we she said, there isn't anywhere to sit. Do you mind if we share space? Oh,
yeah, we didn't care. They were really nice. And they said that's one of their favorite, that's probably their favorite place, one of their favorite places to come to whenever they come to Put-in-Bay. And it's funny, I can tell that the husband really likes the food because
he
was eating most of her chicken, and then he went back and got another corn on the cob. So I saw that, and he didn't think I saw that, and I was cracking up because I thought it was funny. But yeah, like I said, that part made it worthwhile there. Chicken patio wasn't bad. Wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't the worst.
No, it wasn't
as far
horrible.
as that.
It wasn't horrible. So,
but the previous place before we got there,
Put-in-Bay Winery.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't rate them very good at all. Because their customer service, their service was just horrible. The fact that you're sitting there for minutes and minutes and minutes and no one comes up to you, no.
Mm-hmm.
And they saw us, like I said, but the chicken patio was much better because they greeted us as soon as we walked up to the counter.
That's exactly right. Then we saw some drunken frat boy.
Oh yeah.
Who was walking down the street, poor thing, without his shirt, and it was clear that he had been drinking entirely too much, and he was literally just walking and held on to the parking sign that was there, just like, you could just tell something was going on. He was
about to fall over.
Yes, his world was spinning. So his world was definitely spinning. So so that was that. Then we went into the spot called the Candy Bar.
That was a cool spot.
That was a cute spot.
Cool spot.
And you could talk a little bit about what we saw in there.
Man, you know what? I'm trying to think of what we saw in there. Might have to help me with this one. I'm trying to think.
What was the name of those things? The not sour patch
kids. That spot. Yeah. We saw like I think ring pops, and they're like not like Sour Patch Kids or something like that, but they were something similar to Sour Patch Kids. They also had I'm trying to think what else they had there. Sorry, mine's kind of
all kinds of different
they had
candy.
Fudge and ice cream, and it was just
Pop.
crazy. Pop, yeah, it was just crazy.
Those big colorful lollipops.
Yeah,
that type of stuff. You okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. Then we found another small little pier, so to speak, I guess you could say, called the Village of Put-in-Bay Beach.
That was a nice little beach.
That's a little beach that was there, and it was right. We didn't spend very much time there. I forgot. There's a great shop run by Jamaicans where we got some of our souvenirs.
Oh yeah.
Called the Carriage House. If you are on Put-in-Bay, please go and visit them.
Because the two young ladies we saw were just so funny.
Yes, they're very sweet girls, and
made it worthwhile to go in there.
But please go and patronize them because they had no qualms about anybody that was in there. They happily uh, helped people, which is unfortunate that the waitress at, let's go back to Put-in Bay Winery, apparently did not want to patronize everyone. But these young ladies did. So thumbs up to all of the places that we stopped except Put-in Bay Winery.
Right. Yep.
Sorry. Just the truth. Just speaking the truth.
I got it. And then right down the street from that place, we went to the Perry Monument.
That's right. Now, there's a little bit of a walk from the beach, but it wasn't bad. But the only thing is that we didn't realize that we needed tickets because everybody we spoke to said that if you want to go to the top of the monument, it's free. But then we get there and come to find out that you need to go to another spot to get tickets.
Right.
And then you could come back. So we said, okay, never mind. So we went into the rotunda area and took some pictures in there and, looked around a little bit. And, that was fine. Yeah. If we come to Put-in Bay again, we will now we know that we need to purchase tickets. But everybody we everybody we met said, it's free. Go down to the monument. It's free. And then as soon as we get there, there's a sign of
pain.
A sign of
like, did you get your tickets? We're like, what tickets?
Yes, and it's of Perry saying, "Halt, soldier! Do you have your tickets?" Like, what? Tickets? So there's that. So if you decide to go to Put-in Bay, please make sure you research that part.
Yes.
And get tickets. So you could go up to the observatory deck. And they say that you could see Kelly Island, which is another island we may want to explore.
Mm-hmm.
You could see all of Put-in Bay, and you could look over to Canada, they say.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then we were riding around down the street. I took some pictures of all the carts, and there were just people everywhere. People were all over the place, just having a good time. So
mostly.
Right. Mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly.
Everybody we met was nice.
Yeah, I agree.
Just all having fun.
I agree. So, I agree.
I mean, it was like I said, it was a nice place to visit.
Agreed.
A lot of people. But a lot of people didn't bother me. It's just the fact that it's just, you really didn't have, my only thing I would say is there weren't too many places to park, especially around the eatery parts. But all in all, if you're looking for a nice getaway, then Put-in Bay is a good one for you.
That's right.
And it could be a lot of fun too. You know what I mean?
And, the thing about it is that they should have more parking.
Yeah.
They really should.
That part I agree with.
There should be more parking. But that was the unfortunate part.
Yep.
The parking and the parking and the winery.
Yep.
Which was sad. So
all in all, I would probably, if I were to give Put-in Bay any type of rating, well, because there was a lot of people. Well, it's not a lot of people. It's just the fact there weren't a lot of good places to park.
That's true.
I would probably give it could be a 7.5.
Okay, that's
as far as
better than I thought you were going to give them.
Mm-hmm.
That's much better than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I thought for sure it was going to be a lot lower.
No, not at all. No, I mean it was an enjoyable time. Like I said, the people that we met, actually made it worthwhile. So
yeah, that's true.
So what would you give it?
8.
8. Okay. So 7.5, 8. You heard it from us. That's what we would give it. But it's still a great place to visit.
That's true.
So
That's very true. So hopefully you got some good information from us here. We highly, highly, highly recommend Miller's Ferry, the Ease golf cart rental. You really should get a golf cart. If you don't take the Jet Express, you should definitely get a golf cart.
yes,
To save your back and your knees.
yes,
Anything along those lines.
yeah.
Thumbs down to Put in Bay Wineries staff and wait staff.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any idea what the food is like, so unfortunately, we can't critique that.
Yeah.
But their service and attitude, thumbs down. The chicken patty, wonderful people. The sauce, but
7.5.
But but very wonderful
Very
people.
good place.
But you might like it, and I even thought, since it is wine basted, maybe that was the weird flavor in the sauce.
Yeah.
I just thought of that.
Yeah.
But great place to be a patron, because they are very nice. They have free water out there, ice cold though, I will say. Drinks were out there in a vending machine if you want to grab your drinks that way, but they just a little stand where there's food. So I think that they were hands down the nicest, and we met that nice couple there.
Yes.
And on the way back, on the ferry coming back, we met a nice young lady who was laughing, who was listening to our conversation. It was like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be listening to your conversation. Like, well, we're all standing here like this next to each other, so it's not like you were, but she was nice, so it made it a nice ride back.
Yeah.
And and there are places to park your car when you are about to get on the ferry. They claimed, here we go yet again in my research, that the places around were free parking. But then when we got there, of course, it was $10 for the day.
Right.
So that wasn't a horrible price, but we weren't expecting to pay. So
right.
So with that being said, and another thing too, I just thought of it. In your research, if you do decide to go to Put in Bay, they'll say you need cash on the island. You need your cash. Bring cash. Bring lots and lots and lots and lots of cash. We did. But you didn't necessarily need to bring cash.
Right.
Not necessarily. So there's that. Just a thought. Absolutely. So please keep that also in mind. So Put in Bay, Ohio, and we're in Port Clinton, Ohio right now. Travel back and forth was good.
It was.
It was good.
It was a nice experience.
Absolutely. Anything else, sir?
No. I just, like you said, just hope you guys enjoyed the wonderful critique and the stories and reviews that we made here for Put in Bay. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and like it, and subscribe to our channel as well. We're looking forward to another segment of Cubbage Critiques coming soon. And so that way you guys can get more information from us, because that's what Cubbage Critiques is about.
That's right. That's right. Unbelievable. But yes, so thank you so much for joining us today. And yes, like Sam C said, give us a like on this video and let us know what you think. Or if you've been to Put in Bay, let us know that too. Have an amazing day, everyone, and we will see you again really soon.